You know that feeling when you open a medical bill and just think, this can't be real? Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the real reason your medical bills are so outrageously high. And the answer is probably not what you think.
Let's just start with a fact that sounds completely made up, but I promise you it's not. A bag of saline solution, we're talking salt water here, costs about $1 to make. The price that can show up on your hospital bill? $700.
And here's another one for you. A single Tylenol pill, something that costs just pennies at the store. In a hospital setting, that can run you $15. Now, it's really easy to just look at those numbers and scream greed, but the truth is, it's a lot more complicated and honestly, a lot more messed up than that. This isn't just about a few bad apples, it's a whole system, and we're going to break down how it's built. Okay, our first stop is something that used to be one of the hospital industry's best-kept secrets. It's called the charge master. So what the heck is it? Think of it like a hospital's secret internal master price list for absolutely everything, from a single cotton ball to major surgery. And the markups on this list are, well, they're mind-boggling. We're often talking over 1,000% of the actual cost. And these aren't just hypotheticals. These are real numbers pulled from actual investigations. $700 for salt water, $53 for a pair of gloves, $200 for a plastic marker pen. And just remember, these are only the starting prices. Right now, you're probably thinking, hold on, my insurance pays way less than that. And you're absolutely right. Almost no one pays these full, insane prices. But here's the catch, and it is a huge catch. The charge master sets this ridiculously high anchor point for every single negotiation that follows. So even when your insurance company swoops in and gets a so-called discount, the final price is still wildly inflated because the starting point was in another galaxy.
But these made-up prices from the charge master, that's really just the beginning of the story. The next layer involves a whole cast of what I like to call invisible middlemen. These are folks who are taking a slice of the pie without ever providing a single bit of medical care. So, let me introduce you to the pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. You've probably never even heard of them, but this is a $600 billion industry where just 3 huge companies control about 80% of all prescriptions in the entire country. They exist in this murky space between the drug manufacturers and you. And their business model is, well, it's pretty clever.
One of their main profit-making schemes is called spread pricing. Here's a super simple way to think about it. A PBM pays your local pharmacy, let's say, $10 for a prescription you need. Then they turn right around and bill your insurance company $25 for that exact same drug. And that $15 difference? Yeah, that's the spread. They just keep it. So, when you add up all these middlemen, all these layers of billing complexity, you end up with a truly staggering number. Over a third, 34.2%, of every single dollar spent on healthcare in the US goes to administration. Not to doctors, not to medicine, not to research, but to paperwork and profit. And to put that number in perspective, just look at our neighbors to the north. In Canada, they spend about half that on administration. This isn't about medicine being complicated, it's about our payment system being unbelievably, unnecessarily complicated.
I mean, how absurd has this all gotten? Try this on for size. The United States now has more people whose job is medical billing specialist than it has actual staffed hospital beds. Just think about that for a second. We've hired a bigger army to fight over the bills than we have beds for sick people.
And all of this brings us to what might be the most twisted part of this whole thing, the core incentive at the very heart of American healthcare. It's a system that actually pays more for sickness, not for health.
It's called fee-for-service, and it's the main way we pay for healthcare. It means exactly what it sounds like. Doctors and hospitals get paid for the quantity of things they do, not the quality of the results. Every test, every scan, every single visit, it's another charge on the bill. There's almost no financial reason to keep you healthy or, prevent you from getting sick in the first place.
And the result of that backward incentive? An estimated $210 billion is spent every single year on medical care that is completely unnecessary. We're talking tests and procedures that don't make patients any healthier, but they definitely generate a lot of revenue.
So, let's put it all together. You have fictional starting prices, you have middlemen taking a cut from the shadows, and you have a fundamental incentive to do more, not better. What do you get? You get a system where Americans pay way, way more and get way, way less. The numbers on this chart are just stark. The U.S. spends over $12,000 per person on healthcare. That is nearly double what a country like Germany spends, and more than double Canada or Japan. And for all that extra cash, we get the lowest life expectancy of the group.
But look, this isn't just about numbers on a chart. This system has a real, devastating human cost, which brings us to America's medical debt crisis.
100 million. That's how many people in the United States are estimated to be struggling with medical debt right now. That's nearly 1 out of every 3 adults in the country.
And this, right here, is the ultimate tragic result of it all. In the wealthiest country on planet Earth, the #1 reason that people file for personal bankruptcy is because they got sick. That is a uniquely American problem.
So why doesn't any of this change? Well, money talks. The healthcare industry spends over $700 million a year on lobbying to protect this exact system. For context, that's more than the oil, gas, and defense industries spend combined.
Which really leaves us with one final fundamental question. When you look at all these pieces, the secret prices, the middlemen, the perverse incentives, you really have to ask yourself, is this a system that's truly designed to heal people, or has it become a business that's designed to extract as much wealth from them as possible?